You are tuned in to a very special $3.2 million Real Estate Agent Man podcast. We are talking about an amazing 12-acre property in Panther Ridge, just outside of Lakewood Ranch.
Real Estate Agent Man.
This property has almost 11,000 square feet of building space. That includes 2 houses, 2 garages with space for 10 cars that could also fit an RV, 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, large heated saltwater pool with spa, outdoor kitchen, private kayak-able pond, pickleball courts, and many other amazing features that caused me to go way past the intro music. And now, your host for today's special edition of the Real Estate Agent Man podcast, Katrina Smith.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Knock next time.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay, David, this property, is it initially what you were looking for?
No, but my ideas have changed, where we decided that we would want a property that would replace 2 properties, one in Indiana and one in Florida, and something that had some land to it, something that was allows me to expand and pretty much not be held down by any
HOA?
Any HOA, too. That is a big thing. Yes, it is.
Well, there is an HOA in this community.
It is. It's not very intrusive, though. It's like when I built the pickleball court, I still went through and applied and told them what I was doing. They wanted to know where it was going to be at. They even came out and looked at it. And, of course, where I was putting it at was an ideal situation. They did want me to put up a green fence around it rather than a chain link galvanized one, but I wanted to do that anyway.
So you live in an equestrian area. Panther Ridge is known for not only being a community that has 5 acres plus, it is an equestrian community and a golf course community. But the golf course is located in the concessions, and you do have access to that?
Yeah, I got some information on it once, but didn't pursue it, so I don't really remember what the details are.
And you have this beautiful park across the street from your house.
Oh, yes. Very nice. Mm-hmm.
Great for grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
Great for...
I already had them there.
Oh, there you are. Nature trails?
Horse trails, which are all throughout the area, which is nice. As far as trails, I'm more of a kind of guy who would maybe take a bicycle out or motorcycle or ATV or something like that. So I kind of like paved area.
So that equestrian nature trail, actually there's one that lets out right before your driveway.
That's correct, yeah.
I see it every time I come, so
yes.
I'm aware, and I'm always looking to see if there's a horse out there.
Yeah, they come by our house every once in a while, a couple horses, and they'll go down to the trail and head west many times. So, and it's definitely a horse community. There's quite a few people with stables, and out there in that area, there's the polo run, I think it is, where they've got they actually play polo with horses. So it's well known in that area.
Tell me the condition you found it in.
That was really pretty interesting because the guy that had it, from what I understood, bought it in 2007, 2008. And I had heard that it was a foreclosure from the bank. From what I could tell, nothing had been done to it ever since 2007. It was something that I was very surprised that someone would actually present it to the public for sale in that kind of condition. The front doors were very old. They were magnificent in their time, but they were dark and heavy-looking, cast iron gridding on the front of it that you could actually open up. So it was a nice design back then, but it was made the inside of the house pretty dark, or at least that area of it pretty dark. Since then, of course, we replaced the doors and modernized them with an impact door that's drop dead gorgeous, in my opinion. Of course, we wouldn't have bought it if we didn't think it was that way.
No, I know you when you see something gorgeous, you just buy it.
Well, it's nice to have what you like. That's the big thing. And, of course, lighting, it didn't have any chandeliers in it whatsoever, so we replaced those or put them up. I mean, when you go in the house, you didn't even have to go in the house. When you drive up to the house, I mean, it is obviously a magnificent style, but some of the first things I see are these 4-inch hoses coming down from each gutter out onto the drive, and they're like little snakes coming out around the house. And it's pretty disgusting looking. And truthfully, it's one of those things that I thought, I don't know whether I want to do this much work or not. And then you walk through, and there's a lot of light that comes into this house from the sliding doors, because there's 4 sliding doors in the sitting room, and there's another 4 sliding doors in the TV room. So a lot of light, a lot of breeze you can get through the house if you want. But they were all covered with these 6-foot high shades. It wasn't impressive whatsoever, but if you look down and deep and at the house, everything that you would want in a house seems to be there. It's just a matter of getting it into an appealing mode and something that you would be proud to have. So anyway, that's one of the first things I did was replace every stinking light bulb in the place, and that was about 100 of them. And of course, I got all the efficient ones, 7 watts or 9 watts or something like that each one, so I don't really feel too bad if I leave lights on all day long. Or say if I go out for the night, I can leave the lights on there without feeling like I've wasted a lot of energy. So replacing those with, of course, I like the daylight type bulbs that show they're nice and bright and make you feel like you're outside. So I replaced all those.
Tell me a little bit about that grand kitchen with the Wolf appliances and the Sub-Zero refrigerator. Your wife is always in the kitchen making things for people. So this kitchen was ideal for her.
Well, it was, and it's kind of like the stove. It's a gas stove. Now, the house has an LP tank, 1,000-gallon LP tank, which operates both the gas stove, the fireplace, and the grill, outdoor grill around the pool. So it's got 6 burners, and gas burners, the 6 of them just look so nice. I had a pot filler, she likes that real well. And of course, the Sub-Zero freezer and that refrigerator is definitely grandeur. You can put a lot of stuff in there and still look very clean. It's kind of interesting because all the cabinets match everything. The cabinets match the stove and refrigerator front. They match the cabinets, the island, or the
breakfast bar.
Breakfast bar, right. The front of that matches the cabinets too. If you go over to the TV room, which is open concept where you can see it also, it's also got the same kind of wood and trim, which we like that real well too. And so whoever built this, I think the name I thought was Buchanan, but I could be wrong. I had the inspector. When he looked at it, he was raving about how good of a builder he was and how good a job he did. And he said he told me he was like the number 2 builder in Sarasota area. So I was glad to hear that. And I could tell it by the scope of the construction and what the guy had done to it. So anyway, I'm looking at a house that is in disrepair, needs a lot of work. We went out to the grill out by the pool. It was stainless steel, but you open it up and everything is rotted out of it. It's pretty amazing how the iron, it wasn't even usable at that point. So of course that I needed to replace that and replace it with all new, and it works out. It's a beautiful setup. It just needed replaced.
It's a Lynx. You bought a Lynx.
I bought a Lynx, exactly, right? I suppose that's a good one, huh?
Oh, well, it was a very nice one, yes.
Yeah.
And it looks
so.
as pristine as the day you bought it, because did you even use it?
No, I haven't used it.
There you are.
No.
So you're getting a brand new Lynx grill.
Right. I've got a smoker and I like to smoke on it, and either that or I let my wife do the cooking. So
let's move on, because the kitchen not only is grand and it has a lot of amazing features for somebody who likes to cook in a gourmet manner. You've got a butler's pantry. You've got a walk-in pantry, and then that wraps right around into this enormous laundry room.
That's the big thing with my wife, too. If you go in that laundry room, not only do you have so much light coming from the east, and all the windows at the top are curved, and it's just very grandeur because of that. You go in that room and you feel like you're outside. So one thing about the house that we really have learned from looking at different houses that's so important, every window you look out has a gorgeous view. There's just not a window there that you can't look out that say, boy, isn't that beautiful. How many places are you going to find like that? It's not very many. So I knew this is what we were going to get if we could make it work. And also, I also knew that the location was pretty significant since it's close to the concession golf course. It's close to the new sports complex, which is, by the way, is getting quite a lot of attraction.
Isn't it called Premier?
Premier Sports Complex. Yes. That's exactly right. A lot of soccer going on. People from all over are coming there and hosting games. So anyway, the location was excellent. Yet I can be in the house and even around the house, and I can't see a neighbor. If I look at just at the right spot, I can see the neighbor's roof, but that's about the extent of it. So I knew it had all the pluses that I was interested in.
And we haven't even gone upstairs yet. There's a great, big, huge surprise when you go up these beautiful stairs. Now, this is the main house has four bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, correct?
Okay,
yes.
And you have an office, a dedicated office.
Yes.
That opens up with these grand doors. How tall are those doors?
They are 8-foot doors.
8-foot doors.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this house, you go up the stairs and you have all this open living room space.
Oh yeah.
With a grand view from a walkout patio that overlooks the property in its entirety. Would that be true?
It's pretty amazing. Really,
yeah, you see the pond.
We actually put a couple reclining chairs right in front of those sliding doors, because you could sit there, read a book, and just peek up above your book and see this beautiful view. See the pond pretty much in its entirety. See deer, any animals that happen to be in the area, raccoons, or even whether you like them or not, they're still kind of cute. And plus you see the pool, you see the guest house.
It's a spectacular pool. It doesn't have a cage.
No.
It feels like a resort. It feels like you're at a resort. It's one of the things that struck me. In fact, when we built our pool, we went cageless.
Yes.
For that reason, because we loved the way that nature married into the area, and it felt grand.
Yeah, it really is amazing. And that's really, you hit the word resort is the correct word for what we were looking for, because we've got several kids. We've got 9 grandkids, and we want them to come down and vacation there, because that's really what it is a vacation. And that's served the purpose after I did all the work I needed to do to it.
Is this a saltwater pool?
Yes.
And it is heated.
Yes, it is
and
heated.
It does have a hot tub.
It actually has 2 heaters. I bought a new one for it. It's a heat pump. I like the idea of the heat pump because it's so efficient. It's kind of like running an air conditioner, except you're heating your pool with it. So I have that going on, and if I want to have a really quick heat, either of the pool or of the hot tub, then I turn on the gas heater, and it heats it up very quickly.
What would you call that area off to the side of the house that's all fenced in?
Oh,
I mean, for a dog run, you could have, it's like a dog park.
Right.
It's so huge. You could have a pony in there.
Sure.
A horse in there.
Right.
What do you use that for?
Nothing.
Just another place to keep neat and clean.
Well, yeah, I haven't done anything with it,
but it's very nice to have, because
yes, it is.
You could just exit the main house onto the completely fenced in pool area. So if your dog can run that whole area, and then you just leave that one opening, and they can go into the yard, and they're always in the confines and in your sight. Let's talk about the guest house.
Okay.
Which is also a very nice house. I would live in that.
You know, that's funny. It's funny that you make that comment, because I've had several people say, I just want to live in your guest house.
It's a very nice house. It's surprising.
Yeah, it really is nice. Now, it's got, of course, a full kitchen, and it's got a laundry room also. It's got 3 bedrooms and 2 baths upstairs.
I want to back up right there.
Okay.
It's important to know that in both of these homes, the masters are on the main floor.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, and then the secondary bedrooms are upstairs.
Right.
Okay, so now you can continue.
Yeah, it's got the shared bathroom downstairs that goes into the TV room and also the bedroom, master bedroom. A nice wide stairway going upstairs, which I like that. It makes you feel like you're not going down a tunnel. So many of them do, you know.
They do. Very easy to get furniture up and down, large pieces.
Right.
Very easy to make that happen. When you bought the house, the upstairs was a big open room.
Yes.
And there was workout equipment up there.
Yes, true. Uh-huh.
So what did you do? Because it wasn't originally, it was just a 1-bedroom
Right.
with a big open floor plan upstairs. But tell me what you did, because it really is spectacular.
I could have made it into a three bedrooms upstairs. It's got the furnace room is up there too, but there still would have been room for 3 bedrooms if I would have wanted to. But I thought, I don't want to have 3 small bedrooms. It just doesn't have the grandeur effect of it. So I went ahead and divided in, so we've got 2 large bedrooms and 2 walk-in closets. One walk-in closet even has a chandelier in it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
My wife likes that chandelier.
It's delightful.
It is.
I walk in there sometimes and just look around and think, wow.
Yeah, and it's nice and bright.
Daylight everywhere, under the tub. Spectacular large window with beautiful views.
Right.
No one can see in.
Right. There's palm trees out there.
The lush landscaping.
You're up high.
You're up high.
We have a window in the closet, the walk-in closet of that one of the rooms, and the other 2 bedrooms obviously have a side window. The corner bedroom has windows on both corners. So, and with the walk-in closet there too, a lot of shelving, a lot of space that you can utilize if you want.
I want to bring that up, David. This whole estate that you have is excellent for bulk storage everywhere. You really have a lot of storage in this house.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, my wife needed it.
Yes, she did.
She likes
I don't
storage.
know. I think you did too.
Yeah.
Because we're about to talk about one of the most incredible features of this house. It is your garage mahal.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Is that, what else would you call it?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think the ceilings are like 19 foot tall, maybe 20. So it's pretty majestic when you walk in there. It's kind of interesting the way they designed this house. And of course, the builder, like I mentioned to you, was a well-known builder, and he did the spray foam insulation on the ceiling for the garage or the workshop's what I call it, basically. But the spray foam ceiling allows you to actually, you don't need the insulation, but you really don't need it anyway because it's not heated or cooled. But he chose to go ahead and put the spray foam on the roof, underneath the roof, so that it would be a little bit, it wouldn't be so affected by the outside temperature. But you can look up there and you can see all the rafters. So it's really an open feeling, and it's pretty spectacular.
There's windows at the top of that 19-foot ceiling.
You know, you start talking that way, and you're exactly right. There's windows on both sides, the north and the south side, along the side at the top, and on the walls themselves are not drywall or plaster; they're actually wood, and so it's pretty spectacular. My wife really likes it.
You put a bathroom out there, or was that there?
No, I put it out there.
I thought so.
Right.
And tell me about the bay doors. There's 3.
There are 3. Now, these are a commercial kind of door. They're not like the regular garage door. They're very heavy duty. When they come down, it's very secure, and they are 10 foot high. So if you want to drive something in there, a big truck, you don't have to worry about hitting the top of your house. Basically, it's easily accessible. So you're looking at 10 foot high on all 3 doors, and they open vertically. They're on a roller type thing, but they're very expensive. I'm sure if I was to buy them new.
You also have an office in there.
Let's see. I've got.
Tell me about that little area.
Okay, you're talking about the one little air conditioning unit. Area?
With the splitter, with the AC split.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about that one.
Yeah, that's real. It's actually got a closet. And
it's a bedroom.
Well, truthfully, I started talking a little bit. You could call that a bedroom.
It's got a closet.
Because it's got a closet.
It's got windows.
And it's got windows. And
it's on the exterior.
It's kind of cool because it's got a double door on the front of it. And the double door has glass. And it has a big glass window on one side of it. The other side where it makes the turn. And so you've got a lot of visibility from inside there. I was partially using that as a workshop because it was air conditioned, and I like that during the hot months. And the closet actually door locks, so you can put stuff in there that you don't want anybody to be able to get into. And that closet actually has a window in it too, so it's nice. It's nice.
And then above it you have?
We have a loft up above it, a checkered pattern that they've got on the steps. So it's pretty cool looking, like a raceway. And you get up there, and what I like about it especially is that on the loft it's got a wall. It's about 4 foot tall. So it encloses the whole loft, and so you can stand up there and you can see everything below. You've got a bird's eye view from up there that will show you everything that's going on in the workshop. And you could just sit up there and have a cup of coffee and just enjoy yourself if you want to.
You could use it as a game area.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Would a poker table fit up there?
It might. I don't really know. I haven't measured it. I don't know.
Okay, well, it always gives me the sense of you were storing some things up there. You had some bar stools.
Yes.
And you had them up against the 4 foot half wall.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it gave me the sense of that was like a game room.
Right.
And
absolutely.
it has a ledge on it. So
it
you
does.
could place a drink there.
It's an oak ledge,
hope
too.
nobody's
It's
standing
pretty
below.
sharp-looking.
But yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And it's kind of split in two. The steps come up the middle. So there's
Yes.
2 sides to this.
That's correct.
And you got a couple kayaks up there, and they're stored there very nicely. By the way, do those come with the house?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay, sorry.
No.
Right.
We use those to go out in the pond if you want to.
Oh, you can put them in the pond.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's plenty of room out there to
that
go
big?
for the kayaks.
Okay. So you go back down the stairs, and to the other side of the office is more storage. There's so much storage in this house, David,
Yeah.
really. Every
And it's
nook and cranny.
Right. And it's lockable, too, which
That's
is kind
right.
of nice.
It has a door
Got
on
a
it.
deadbolt and
How
ready
many
to lock.
how many cars do you think you could fit in there, in that garage?
That's a good question. I mean, you're looking at it's 32 foot wide, and it's 40 foot deep. I mean, 40 foot is really, really deep for any kind of a garage. So, I mean, you could probably get 6 cars in there if you wanted to.
Wow, and you have an ATV.
Yes.
You have an ATV in there, and this really, this nice lawnmower, a riding
Right.
lawnmower that the professionals use.
Right, right.
You've got another Sub-Zero freezer,
Right.
dedicated Sub-Zero freezer in there. So there's so let's go outside to the back of this garage mahal. There's an RV pad. Per se. I mean, that is what it was built for.
Right,
To
right.
to park your RV back there. You've never had one.
No.
Okay, but so you don't really know too much about it.
No.
Okay.
No.
But go ahead.
I actually put a gas tank out there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Talk about the gas station you have.
I put a gas tank out there. Back in Indiana when I liked the idea of having access to my own gas, and it sits there. And truthfully, I've kind of beat some price wars a little bit with it by having my own gas and buying it only when it's at a cheaper price. And plus, I don't have to worry about lines or anything like that when I get gas. It's just kind of something I liked, so I did it. I poured a pad there to set it on top of, put a fence around it so you don't really see it, and then you just pull up and fill up your tank, and that's the extent of it. Yeah, pickleball is something we got into when we've been here in Florida. We didn't even know about it until we moved here. We're snowbirds. But we liked it so well, we thought, we need to have one. So anyway, I decided if I'm going to build one, I may as well build 2. And there's a nice flat spot right there to the right on the north side of the house that just cries out for something. And so it seemed to be an ideal situation. Thing about pouring in concrete is I don't like to do something haphazard. So when I poured it, when I had a contractor do it for me, I had him do it with a minimum 5.5 inches thick and reinforcing rods every 2 foot, number 4.5 inch, if you know anything about that. So it's very, very solid, and you could really just about build a house on it because it's such a nice piece of concrete. But anyway, we put electricity out there, so we got lights and plug-in radios or whatever you want out there. Out there actually is where the well is at. Kind of a strange thing because this guy that built this house thought of so much. He actually put a breaker panel out there for the well and for any kind of extension that you do. So I tapped into the breaker panel to do the lighting and the the plug-ins out there. There's a generator out there too.
That was what I was going to ask you next.
This is probably one of the things it's really impressive to me, because I've had generators before, but they've just been little teeny things. And this thing is a 50,000 kilowatt generator. From what I could tell, you could run every refrigerator, every freezer, every air conditioner, heater, or whatever you're running at the same time, if the power's out, and still it would handle it all. So I like that idea. If the power goes off, it takes about 20 seconds, and then your generator kicks in, and then you get power again. As a matter of fact, it's happened to us several times, because there is a power line out by the highway that they were redoing for the years that we had it, and they've actually got some pretty big power lines out there now, so we don't have that problem very often. But we had the power go out quite a few times when we initially owned the place. But it's a big asset for me. It's a little security thing, and truthfully, just like I'm sure that anybody that lives in Florida knows, if a hurricane comes, it's the time that you are without power, that's the hardest time, because your lights don't work, your refrigerator doesn't work, your freezers don't, your air conditioning doesn't work, but not the case for here. And it is run on propane, LP gas actually, which I guess is the same thing, but a 1,000-gallon tank right outside there, and that supplies it.
Is that tank separate from the one that feeds the house?
Tank,
it's the same tank.
The thing about feeding the house, you don't really use much propane or LP gas for the house, because you're only operating your stove, fireplace, and your outdoor cooking area at the pool.
And you know what's nice is you can't see it, because it is shrouded with this
didn't used
beautiful
to be,
landscape. Did you put that in?
Yeah, that's the thing. When I first bought this house, you drive up the driveway and you see this big old generator, which is not a bad thing, but it wasn't really that pretty. But the worst thing was you have your well right over there, and the soft water system and aerator is right there exposed. It's plastic, and it was quite the eyesore. Everything was an eyesore there, both the generator and the soft water system. So we planted evergreen trees. There's like 3 or 4 of them in front of each one of them. So it's very, very pretty now. You don't even notice it. The guy from Colligan, he was a new guy that hadn't worked on our place before, and once a month they come out and check the system, fill it up with salt and things. And so he's looking around, and he said, "Can I ask you where your saltwater or soft water system's at?" He couldn't even find it. So it was hidden pretty good.
So beautiful what you've done. So you've added a lot of landscaping to this property.
We have planted a lot of trees. We've planted a lot of shrubbery. My wife really likes this kind of thing. So it's beautified it. In our view, our thoughts, it's just beautiful in every direction you look. I put a fountain there.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's magnificent.
Yeah, I like the fountain real well. It got electricity out there for it, so you can just flick a little switch, and the fountain comes on and makes its little noises and pretty. And then right beside that, it's kind of interesting, because we were at the Mariposa, which is a nursery, and we saw this table and chairs. The table's made out of jade rock, and all the chairs are big jade rocks also that are flattened on one side. And it weighs it a lot, I can tell you that much. So
you're not taking that, are you?
No, it stays with the place. So we're looking at this, and this thing is so beautiful. We got to incorporate it somewhere. So we bought it and had our landscaper, a guy that we have do our yard work, and we talked about it, and we made a big circle, planted all these shrubs around it, put in 2 big shade trees, and there's a name for those too.
We're going to say beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, we planted those, and it makes for.
It's very stunning. It's unexpected.
Yeah.
So when you walk from the main house to the guest house, you have all these beautiful. And by the way, the driveway is the same, brick pavered.
Right.
All the way down to the street.
Yeah, from the house to the street.
Okay.
Pavers, yeah.
When you're walking from the main house, it is this beautiful garden-esque area You feel like you're in Selby Gardens almost.
You are.
Know?
That is absolutely
That
correct.
is,
Yes.
it's beautiful. I enjoy the walk from the main house to the other house.
That's for sure.
And both houses have magnificent porches off the front.
Right.
You have a porch swing on each one. It's very peaceful. The views are beautiful from any angle or any area of this home. You've done such a beautiful
sure.
job, but the garden it catches you. You don't expect it to be there. So just when you come around the corner, you get this corner view, and you're like, "What is that?" And you walk back there, and it's stunning, and it overlooks the pond.
Right.
Everything pretty much is situated so you can see the pond.
Right.
Everywhere.
Right.
There are a lot of different birds.
Well, that's kind of interesting because we actually have a sanctuary. It's a scrub jay, I think that's what they call them, sanctuary, 32 acres across the street. One of the things we liked about the property was how secluded it is, and the fact that it's a sanctuary for those birds. Then we don't figure there's going to be any kind of building ever over there, which is kind of nice, keeps us secluded. We were also talk about wildlife that we get out there. Of course, we love wildlife as far as that goes. You always are concerned about your safety when you think about some wildlife that could be out there that could bother you, but I have not had that problem whatsoever. This morning, I got up and there were 3 deer in the front yard running across, and actually they're fairly friendly. They'll stare at you for quite a little while before they'll kind of meander along. And then before I went into town tonight, there was 2 deer out in right around our swimming pool.
Around your swimming pool, they come up that close?
Yeah, they definitely do.
Do you have any fruit trees on the property?
We do have a mango tree out by the pond that we planted last year. It's only about 6 feet tall. I'm not sure how long that will take to grow, but that's the only fruit tree we've got.
Do you have a stocked pond?
Actually, we do. I had a pond in Indiana that we stocked with a lot of catfish, but this one's already got catfish, smallmouth bass, I think even largemouth bass. And then we discovered and a lot of turtles too, which we enjoyed the turtles. There's some pretty cool looking ones because they're a different variety. But we also discovered a new fish that we'd never heard of before. And because some of them are whitish looking, and the other ones are dark, and they are called walking catfish.
Oh, I know about these.
Do you know about them?
They do walk out of the pond.
They do. They'll walk from pond to pond or from area to area. And the reason we learned about some of this stuff is we would go out and you can buy this floating catfish food at Tractor Supply Company.
Okay.
And then we would go out. We set up a little place by the pond. I put up. I got these chairs with an umbrella attached to it, and they're from at the Amish store in Sarasota. But they last forever. It seems like they really do hold up well. So anyway, there's 2 chairs out there, and so we would go out there and we would feed the fish, and we would look at the different variety that came up, and it was usually catfish, turtles, the walking catfish, and then some odds and ends,
Bass,
some trout too.
You have. How deep is your pond?
I think it's the deepest, about 14 foot.
14 feet.
Yeah, yeah, it's the deepest, I think.
How big is how wide is it?
It's probably 70 feet wide and a couple 100 feet long.
It's pretty big.
It's big. It is big.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had any problem with alligators?
Well, we had an alligator there when we bought the place. We actually kind of enjoyed it, looking at it, because we have an ATV. We bought that. One of the things that I recommend if you got a property like that, you can drive around because it's got trails on the property, and you can enjoy yourself doing that. But we would drive around the pond and we'd just look for the alligator and see if we could see him. But yeah, he was there for several years, or a couple of years probably.
Okay, never bothered you.
Not really. It depends on whether you like them or not.
That's right. So in the end, you did have somebody come and remove him from the pond.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. There is no alligator there that I know of at this moment.
How hard is it to care for your property? Because some people are going to say, wow, that frankly just looks like a big mowing headache. So, that's a full-time job. I'm going to have to, is the little house a guest house for your, the people who care for the place? Or it looks like it's a big job, but it doesn't seem like you spend that much time on it. You have a full-time gardener, people who care for it.
No. Obviously, we have a mower that comes in once a week, and they mow the property. Of course, this time of year, doesn't even need it that much. But it's as far as the garden is concerned, pretty much everything does itself. I mean, you have to put mulch in it when you plant it, and you might have to trim it every once in a while, your trees. But I even have the guy that does my mowing, he cuts those and trims them. So it's not really a big deal at all.
So it's easy.
It's easy. And really, realistically, if we would have stayed here, we wouldn't have quit. There's another area to the left on the sidewalk going towards the guest house that I could turn that into a garden too, because all you do is you plant this stuff and you mulch it, and the mulch keeps the weeds out, and you just enjoy it. It seems to me like it's not that hard.
You have another garage we haven't even talked about yet. The one that comes off the main house, which can fit,
true.
4 vehicles?
4 vehicles, right.
So altogether, you could have 10 vehicles.
Well, this 4-vehicle garage, too, it's not just small garage. It's deep. So in other words, when you pull your car in, a lot of garages, they're 24-foot, 25-foot deep, and you don't have much room other than where your car is at. This garage has room on depth-wise, width-wise. It is definitely a magnificent garage.
Very tall ceilings.
Very tall ceilings, right? Storage space, too. Just for your information, it's got a lot of storage up there in the attic of the garage.
And this has 3 bay doors. 3
bay doors, right. Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else really special that you've done to this house? There's so many things. It's hard to cover all of it. Let's talk about you have 5 ACs.
Basically, one will operate the upstairs of the main house. The other 2 operate the downstairs in different sections of the main house. The guest house has an air conditioning unit, and heating unit, of course, that operates the living area of it, heating and cooled area. And then the other 5th air conditioner is a small one. It's a Mitsubishi, very inexpensive to operate, and it will take care of my little office area out there.
Let's talk about your windows. Are they impact glass?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Wow, you must get a good rate on your insurance.
Yeah, it's been okay.
How old? The roof is not that old. It's
built in 2007.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it is barrel tile.
Yes.
So it's still young.
Yes. Trees.
So for someone who doesn't know, someone who's moving here from out of state, and this type of roof isn't common, the first question is, what do you do to care for that?
Nowadays, they don't really power wash it. They spray it. They spray it with a chemical. So basically, you've got water and you've got sodium hypochlorite, from what I understand. Anyway, I'm not an expert, but that's what they do. So they are not putting that kind of power washing power on your roof. I understand that the clay tile actually, if you power wash it, will take some of it off every time you do that. So
good to know.
Yeah, so they're professionals. They know what they're doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to hire them.
So you haven't wore away your roof. You've been treating it properly, and so it's still in excellent condition.
Sure.
Let's talk about your septic tank.
Yes, yeah.
It's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's this house is built it's built with a lot of thoughts in mind and longevity in mind, and what the future may bring for whoever's there. Normally, a septic tank, it's kind of like I figure it's time to pump it out. I've never had it pumped out, and so I had them out doing that, and they said, "Well, it's so much money for a 1,000-gallon septic tank," and it's okay. So they come out here, and then they start to put these probes in the ground, and I've learned a lot about it because there's actually one big septic tank with 2 lids, and he said it's more than 2,000 gallons. It's like 2,300 gallons. And that's not all of it, because what happens, it's got a filter in there that when you get the water level at a certain level, it goes through this filter and goes into another tank right beside it. This other tank, basically what it's for is it has a pump in there, and the pump is electric, and when it senses the water is getting high, the electric pump comes on and it pumps the water into the finger system of the septic system. And then if outside on the back of the guest house, which is where this is at, there's a little monitor that's got a little red light on the top of it. So if it's not functioning, the light starts flashing. So it's kind of a nice system.
Everything in Florida is in a flood zone of some kind.
Yeah,
Let's talk about your property.
This is Panther Ridge, and from what I've read about Panther Ridge, it's kind of a ridge out in this part of the county that is above the sea level. It's above sea level by I don't know how many feet, but far enough that it's not in kind of a flood zone. Now with the pond out there, you always have water tables that is in any piece of property, and the water table, from what I've seen of the pond, if it overflows, it will kind of go to the southwest of the property, and there's an area there that could be considered low area, which you wouldn't build, but the building area, which is near where, obviously where the house is at, is quite a bit higher than that too.
Okay, so there's really no concerns there. You don't have to carry flood insurance.
No.
Okay. Talk about your pool. It has beautiful travertine all throughout the deck. Is it hard to care for?
I really haven't done anything to it. It's probably a good idea to power wash it every once in a while, but no, it's not.
Do you have to seal it?
You don't have to. They have different thought patterns about sealing, that kind of stuff. Some people do, some people don't. So we put a sealer on it once. We had a guy put a sealer on it once, and he actually leveled it out some.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because they do some, ground settles at times, and this had settled in a few spots, so we had it leveled out, but everything was pretty straightforward.
How large is your pool?
I think it's about 16,000 gallons.
Okay, 34 by 16. Well, that's important. Yeah. People want to know what the gallons are.
Right.
It's not a dinky pool by any means.
No, and we were kind of picky about a pool because my wife doesn't swim very well. She's a little bit worried about a pool. So we've got an area that is probably 5 foot, a little over 5 foot tall, which is going to be above her head, but it doesn't last for very long. So the ideal pool is one that she won't get over her head at any point, but it does do it a little bit over her head, but not much. So it's very suitable to us.
You have that beautiful sun shelf.
Oh, yes, that's really, really nice. But grandkids love it, particularly younger ones, obviously. And not only that, you can sit there and have your feet in the water, too, if you want, and watch the people that are in the pool and interact with them because you're close.
And you have that beautiful outside kitchen that we talked about earlier with the Lynx barbecue.
Yes.
You have a refrigerator out there.
Uh-huh.
You have a bar area. This is a very large patio. You've owned this house for how many years?
4 years.
I never knew you had an outside bathroom, so that was a nice surprise to me the other day.
Yeah, it's one thing about the bathroom too that on the outside near that area is that it is incorporated into the heating and cooling system of the house. Now, also one thing too, you talk about the kitchen area out there. I was a little more curious about that area since I was replacing the grill with a new one as to what kind of material it was made out of. This is made out of material that is weatherproof. It's something that it could withstand any kind of rain or mildew or whatever because it doesn't absorb any of the moisture. So I was really impressed with that.
Talking about the cabinets.
Yes, all the kitchen
cabinets. I was wondering about the exterior cabinets. Why do they? So when we were out there, getting the property ready, I thought these cabinets look in incredible shape. How do you keep them from not warping? And there's no water damage here. Didn't know that. That was good to know.
You ought to try to put a screw in it. It's pretty hard to put a screw in these things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have a really great under roof area.
Yes.
For your patio, a lot of it is under roof.
Right. Gives you
twice the enjoyment. What about the sun? Tell me how the sun hits it in the afternoon.
Right. About the only time that the sun becomes a problem is if you're, if it's right over the top of you, and you're in the pool. Just
about noon.
If you're in the pool, it's really the patio is not a problem at all. you had mentioned something about that area, and it just reminds me, we put 2 big ceiling fans out there.
You did?
These are like, 7 foot, 6 foot. I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're very large. And I had those ceiling fans at another house that we had in Venice, and we loved them. And I put them in our library upstairs in the main house. But another thing too is that the house, when we bought it, didn't have any ceiling fans in the bedrooms. It had one in the TV room and one in the craft room. But other than that, there wasn't any. So it's got ceiling fans throughout now.
And you got that beautiful wood shiplap. What is that? What type of wood is up
Yeah,
on
it's
your
like,
ceilings?
isn't that called?
Is it cedar?
I don't know what it is.
It's beautiful, whatever it is. You see it from the front porch when you walk in and you look up. You see it outside on the patio. You see it in the second house.
Yeah.
On the outside area. It's
always,
a very lovely touch.
And it stays looking good all the time.
Yeah, and you put a new floor in the.
Well, it's kind of.
There was a lot of carpeting through the house.
Yeah, and it's not only was it carpeting in several of the rooms, it was shag carpeting.
What flooring did you put down? It's beautiful.
It's hickory.
Is that real wood floor?
Sure.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hickory. It's I think they had engineered hardwood, but
okay,
yeah.
It's done. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
The one thing we didn't talk about is your master bedroom. It's got those 2 beautiful half round. They look like eyes.
Yes.
Windows over the bed. It's very grand. Your house sits. The sun comes up on the front of the house, and you have sunset right over the pool off the back. Is that correct? So it runs from east to west.
That's
so your
correct.
pool faces west. You get the morning sun off your front patio.
Right.
Okay, so pretty much all day long you have sunlight in that room because of the way the windows sit. Your bathroom is so beautiful. The one thing I always remember about your house is your master bathroom.
It's funny you mentioned that. We looked at a house in Texas years ago, and we took it was a brand new house, and it had a bathroom very, very close to what ours is. And so we took pictures of it. We got it on the computer and thought, if we get a house, we want a bathroom like that someday. And then, of course, we look at this house, and that's exactly what it's got, with the tub in the center, showers behind it where you can enter from either direction. You've got sinks on both sides, his or hers, however you want to arrange it. And
hers.
Yeah, you might be right. Now, her closet is right off that bathroom, too. So she's got good access right after she gets out of the bathtub or whatever. It's a jacuzzi-type tub. I don't remember who made it, but it's got the whirlpool things in it, too.
These walk-in closets, they have the closet organization that you would expect to find in any higher-end home. You really get a lot of clothes in there. You don't know how many clothes you get in there until you have to take them out and box them up. But there's a lot of space in there. You've got the drawers. You've got, and then there's a pantry in there as well. You've got so much storage. You have a pantry in the open area. You have a pantry in the closet area. You even have a pantry in the water closet area. There's so much storage. You even have your own closet. It's I think larger than her closet. It feels like
I think it is larger than her
just
closet.
A little larger, yeah.
Yeah, it's not attached to the bathroom, but that works good for me. I like it that way.
And you have a fireplace.
Fireplace is really nice. It's natural, or it's the LP gas like we talked about, and it's one where you just a little remote and you push the button and the fireplace comes on. It's got a timer on it, so you can time it if you want to have the temperature of the fireplace set at a certain, or your room temperature of that fireplace. You can do it that way too. So it's
a pass through. It's a pass through.
It's see through, right? Pass through, and it's all this stone around it too. That's just gorgeous. Yeah. When I mentioned when I first saw the house with all the eaves troughs running out into these little 4-inch pipes all over the concrete and how ugly it was, that the system that we've put in there is set up so that when it rains, all the rain that hits the house basically goes down to the eaves troughs. It drains through a 4-inch pipe, and that drains into a 6-inch pipe. there's 3 6-inch pipes on the property that goes pretty much from the front of the house clear back to the pond. And at the pond, this is all new, something that I've done. There's a distribution box made out of concrete, 5.5 inches thick all the way through it. And then it runs into a 12-inch pipe, and the 12-inch pipe goes into the pond. So the one thing about Florida is what happens is we have a dry season during the winter, and lots of ponds go low, go dry, and they don't carry enough water in there to be as pretty as you'd like or whatever you might use that water for. So anyway, this any rain that we get drains basically out into the pond, keeps that thing full, and then with the sprinkler system, it's fed by 2 different ways. There's a switch or a valve out by the well that you can turn that runs the sprinkler system from the well. But if you don't like to use well water to sprinkle your yard, like I don't like to, then I built a raft out on the pond. At the bottom of that raft is an inlet for water, and that inlet has a hose, an 1.5 inch hose, that goes over to a pump that goes to the sprinkler system. So the sprinkler system is run by the water from the pond. So basically, I've got a cycle going on. So if it rains, the water goes back out to the pond where it should be, and then when it's dry or whatever, when the sprinkler goes on, usually 3 times a week for me, then it's coming from the pond. So it's a cycle that is replenishing itself all the time.
So you built this yourself?
Oh yeah.
This is engineered.
I spent a lot of time doing this myself. Yeah.
I remember your wife telling me you were doing that every single day.
Of course, when I knew it had a sprinkler system from the start, but it actually didn't work when it was out at the pond. I had to reinvent that one because it was not functional. But I thought I could hire somebody to come in, and every time I've got a problem, I'd be subject to them to know what to do next, and I have to count on them on their schedule, and I just don't like that very well. So I decided I'm going to figure this thing out. It's not that complicated, but it's not something I'd done before in the past. So basically, there is a box, which is the controller on the north side of the guest house, and that controller is set up just like any of them on sprinkler systems. The sprinkler system controller has like 15 stations on it. So each one of those stations has a purpose where it will send a signal out on a separate line. This line will deliver this 24 volts AC of power to a solenoid. And this solenoid will open the sprinkler valve that will go to the section that you want it to. So it's got 15 different sections that it can go to. Now, this controller has 4 cables going into it, each having several wires, and each of these cables goes to a particular distribution box. And where this box is at is where all the valves are at that turn the sprinklers on and off. So there's 4 of them. There's one on the north side, one on the back of the guest house, one over in the dog run area, and one in front of the house. So each one of those is powered by the signal that comes from the controller. So it's actually fairly simple, but you can take that controller and tell it when you want each valve to come on. I feel like they ought to all be on at about the same amount of time because you want the water to saturate the ground somewhat. So I've got it set for 20 minutes. It comes on like at 1 o'clock in the morning and runs till morning. And it's a nice system, so that's important to make it work, particularly during the dry season in Florida.
There's cameras everywhere all over this property. It was like that when you bought it, and it was functional when you bought it.
It was functional. All the cameras were functional. He had a monitor both up in the guest house and the upstairs in a closet, and he had a monitor in the laundry room in the closet. The monitor in the laundry room is still there, but the first thing I did was unplug it all. I just wasn't interested in having all these cameras, even though some people may like them, and it was part of it. He did have a security system there too, and the security system is something I haven't incorporated in the house. Either I haven't done anything with it. It's just like when he left it. I'm sure it could be activated, but I've never done it or had an interest in doing it.
So,
it's so quiet out there.
Yeah,
it's
so you feel
protected.
very safe. There's a sense of...
It's just so protected. You got one drive going down to your house. So that's one thing about it. It's if you have somebody wanting to take a chance to go to steal something on your porch or be out there at night when they're not supposed to be, they don't have any way to get out of that property unless they go down that drive. So it would be scary to be the guy doing the wrong thing, I would think, with the chance of getting caught.
What have you enjoyed the most about living here?
I think that there isn't a place in the whole estate that isn't a pleasure to be in. That's probably it right there.
Okay, that's that, and your family and friends have all come and enjoyed it.
Oh yes, oh yes.
So you have a large family, 9 grandkids. Have they all been on the property at the same time?
They actually have. They actually have. Right.
But would you say it was still comfortable with you can get a lot of people
absolutely
staying here with you, and there's plenty of place to move around and enjoy things?
Well, not only that, the pool area is so accommodating to that kind of thing. A lot of seating, cooking area, place to drink and eat. Got a little bar out there. It's just, it's very accommodating.
We're always asked, when we sold your beach condo, it was the number one question because it was so beautiful there, and you didn't own it for very long. The first thought was, why are you selling it? And you know what I have to say to them? Because they enjoy life and they want to do many different things, and they have something for a while and then they go on to something else. Would that be a true statement, or would that be an untrue statement?
Truthfully, that is a lot of it. It's kind of interesting because I had a place in Indiana that was 10 acres and a house there, a grandeur house, 5,000 square feet. Built a pole barn, 2-story. Had it just exactly where I wanted it, and they decided to move to Florida.
Right. See, so there's no, because people are like, this is so beautiful, and that's what we're going to get. There's so much here. Why are they leaving it? And I always tell people, well, there's so much life to live.
Right.
You know, so
I really think that we will do a lot more traveling, just pretty much over the states, and it's something that I think it's going to be a fun little thing to do.
Right. So it's been a pleasure to have.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You've enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah.
You've improved it exponentially.
That's kind of the story of my life. But
yeah.
yes, you're
Everything
exactly right.
you touch, you improve exponentially.
There's a lot of truth to that.
So when David found this house, it had good bones, had some very lovely features to it. But when you see it now, you will definitely feel that the value exceeds the price, because everything that you're getting here is really phenomenal, like a resort.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can call Steve Martin Smith. We're done. What's that?
All right.
What's that noise? Is it you? Is it Francie?
Yeah. Yes.
You tell her you just finished.
Hey, we just finished on our little conversation on the microphone.
You called at the right time.
You called at the right time because we just cut it off.
Real estate agent man. Real estate agent man. Write down his cell phone number and do not forget his name. 941-894-9800. SteveMartinSmith.com. Steve Martin Smith is a licensed Florida realtor with Remax Platinum Realty and Steve Martin Homes Group.